Hi everyone. In this lecture we are going to create a travel postcard using Photoshop. So we are going to take two pictures. One picture where you are doing your vacation and maybe another picture of your favorite pet, and then you're going to superimpose and add some text and create a card. So I have a couple of pictures. So I'm going to use this. I have a beautiful picture of this place called Mykonos in Greece. I have a nice beach here. And then I have another picture of a golden retriever. I'm going to superimpose this picture on this, superimpose picture of the dog on the picture of the beach. I'm going to resize it and add a little bit of text and post a picture of how my pet is celebrating a vacation in Greece, right? You can use your own pictures and you can follow along at every step. So let's start right away. First I'm going to do is I'm going to launch Photoshop, and I can do that by clicking on this Creative Cloud desktop application, which is also known as Thor, a pretzel-like icon. Go to Apps, select Photoshop CC and open from there. Okay, alright. So first thing I need to do is I need to create a new project. So let's create a new Photoshop document, and you can choose any default size. Let's say if you want to post on Instagram, it's typically 1080 by 1080, right? Pixels. So let's try that. Alright, so you have artboard in front of you. Now I want to make sure I have those two images available here in my Photoshop so that I can start working on them. So let's see how can we do that. There are various ways of doing this, and I'm just going to explain you one of ways, but you can always try. The next thing what we want to do is we want to make sure the picture of the golden retriever merges with the background. So in this particular case, as you can see, there is a square image of white sand and white background around the golden retriever. We want to remove that, and we want to make sure our background golden retriever merges with the background, right? So to do that, first we need to make sure our golden retriever is highlighted, and since we want to focus on that, we can just turn off our little Venice Mykonos layer first, so that we can completely focus on the golden retriever. And we also might want to zoom in a little bit so that we can see dog very clearly. Maybe you can scroll on the right too. Right, so it's very clear. Now what you do is select the golden retriever layer again, and then go to the menu, select and mask. Please follow along. So best ways to learn about Photoshop is follow along with me. So if at any point in time you can pause this video and then try the same steps that I have done so that you can learn it quickly. So I can pause and then you can follow along. So next one is go to select and mask. Okay, so you see a little window appearing here, and over here you go and select overlay. Okay, so overlay basically shows you what are the things that you can uh, get masked and what are the things that you can unmask. So as you can see, this tool has nicely identifying the dog, right? So everything other than the dog, it's going to mask it, and only the dog it can keep. So it's set selected. So let's just select a subject. So it has nicely selected a subject. As you can see, anything that appears red is going to get masked and is going to cut out from the image, and it's going to only keep the dog. Now as you can see, there are some sections like this whitish section, though these are not uh, masked completely, so that's where we take the manual help. So image selection, use some AI to mask out as much as unwanted image as possible, but it's not perfect, and that's where we need to go and take the help of a manual tool. It's called a refine edge brush tool on the left. So I'm going to select that, right? And you can also select the size of the brush as you want, hardness and spacing. You can select all of that, and then you can apply this tool. I'm going to apply this to this white area so that it goes out. I want to make sure it doesn't appear in my picture, and I'm just going to just move it around. So as you can see, it's removing that area. I'm going to undo it because I don't want to remove dogs here. So let me try again. So over here also I can remove some part, right? As much as possible we want to keep it nice. Okay, that's the best you can do right now. Maybe somewhere here too. Somewhere here too. Somewhere here too. And some part of here. Okay. Alright. So we are done. You can also try and playing with this radius value and the other refinements and play with it. But for now this is good enough. So I'm going to accept it. Okay. So it's accepted. Now I'm going to zoom back in. Okay, and then now I'm going to select back our littlest Venice layer. There you go, voila. So as you can see, my dog appears in the picture uh, of the beach, and it's as if the dog is standing right on the beach, right? So that's the beauty of Photoshop. So it has cut out the remaining part behind the dog, the background. It has merged the image nicely into the into the beach, right? So that's perfect, right? That's exactly what we wanted. Now let's add a little bit of text. So I'm going to just select the text box, and then I'm going to draw a text here. Okay, and I'm going to type. I'm going to say vacationing in Mykonos. I'm going to remove the unwanted text. Okay, I'm going to give it a nice font. I think I'm going to turn it into white so that it appears nice. Okay, and I'm also going to select let me select let me change the typo, and I'm also going to select a nice font. So there are lots of font available. Okay, this is not a font, so font I can do bold, I can do a little bit bigger font, and then I can select the font style. So there are a lot of fonts available, and you can play and you can preview how it's going to appear. Let's see, I like this one. That's it, and your uh, travel card is ready. So next thing you can do is you definitely this is a Photoshop file. You cannot share it on your social network. So what you can do is you need to export the file. First of all, always save it, right? So you can say travel card, and then you can export. You can select various formats. Let's try something else. File, save as. No, I'm going to select the export. Let's do a quick export as PNG. And this is the PNG file, and you can post it on your shared on your your social network. That's it. That's how you create a travel card. So easy to use in Photoshop. Usually in Photoshop, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, but once you start you taking some use cases and start applying the Photoshop menu, then it becomes a little bit easier to use, right? So that's how you use it Photoshop. In addition to using your Photoshop, what you can do is you can also use images from stock. So stock is basically a professional photography marketplace for Adobe where there are high quality images and you can reuse. Okay, so to do that, what you can do is you can hover your mouse here and select Adobe stock, right? And then you can search for, let's say, an image of any place. Let's say you can say Paris, right? And you can use that picture. You can save this picture to your library, right? Right, and then you can start using it. Let's say if I drag and drop this here, you can start using this picture. But remember, you can use it for your artboard work, but since as you can see there is a watermark here, so before you start actually before you actually productionize this image, you need to buy it. So what you can, for that what you can do is you can license this image from stock, and the way to do that is, let me go back again and I will show you the way to do that. Let me delete it. So I will go back to search Adobe stock and search for Paris, right? And now here you, instead of clicking the preview, you can actually go here. So it will give you few licensing option where you can pay for the license, you can buy, and then the image will appear in your library without any watermark. But for now we can use a free version which is not licensed, and let's see how we can do that. So let me click on the preview version, right? And I can drag and drop to this image, and let me uncheck the beach, and because let's say I want to use Paris instead of beach, and I want to use this as the topmost layer, So let me resize it. Right, and I'm going to drag it down below this one. Right, so there you go. So instead of beach, you have selected uh, a Paris Eiffel Tower, right? And you can use the professional quality images from stock. So there are a lot of images available in stock. So you can also say select for New York, and you can have nice landscape picture from New York, or maybe you can want something from San Francisco. You can select that too, like Golden Gate Bridge, and you can use that. So all these options are available. If you don't want to use your image, you can use images from any other city that you like inside stock. So stock has bunch of options. You can select by city. You can also search for beach, and those are really high quality images you can start using. You can search for party, and you can create a campaign party poster if you want. So that's how you use Photoshop to create a travel card. I hope you enjoyed it. All the best.